Hello, Battlegroup fans. This is a solo after-action report. It is July 1941, somewhere in the Ukraine. The scenario is the bridge. And at this point right now, I have got the following forces. I have one German 35T that has just shown up for setup. For the Russians, I have one BA-10 armored car that's in ambush. I've got a 45 AT gun. The bridge is one of the objectives. This is the other objective. On the other side of the river in the forest, I've got another Russian squad with a 45 AT gun. And in the back there, you can see our third objective with a T-26 on there. More T-26s will come. And over here, we got a Russian sniper team. So at this point, right now, according to the Battlegroup rules, the Germans have in fact been out-scouted. And I pulled the chit. Let's see how many points they have. Ooh, and the Germans take 3 points off their morale, and I will discuss about morale in the next slide. So here we are at the end of German turn 2. The Germans rolled 7 orders, plus 1 officer makes it 8. And, I'm sorry, they rolled for 7 orders. My mistake. Anyways, so at this point we had 3 units that could come on board. So I brought on a rifle squad. Now the German rifle squad is done differently because the LMG team is considered a separate unit. Okay, and then this would be the rest of the squad. Okay, so I went ahead and I brought in another 38T, and as you can see, both of them have moved. I moved the first one out so it wouldn't get shot at by a whole bunch of 45s, which it did not. Did get shot at by this guy over here, and I marked the firing. It was on ambush, didn't do anything. The 38T decided to fire back with machine gun fire. For suppression, it was ineffective. The other 38T just moved along, did get shot at by this guy here in ambush, but that hasn't changed anything. Nothing else has happened. So now we are going to be on Russian turn 2. Okay, we are at the end of Russian turn 2. And with that, the Russians rolled for 4 units to be activated. I'm sorry, 3 units to be activated. So the first one, I had the T-26 move out and take the shot here at the 38T that's moving. Okay. And yes, I try to number my turrets so I can tell whose tank is whose. All right, and missed. Meanwhile, the heroic 45 fired on here, pinned the 38T. They survived the morale check, and that's it. Our last AT gun decided, I'm going to go in ambush and see what's going to happen next. Okay, so we're going on to German turn 3. End of German turn 3. German reinforcements are now completely on. We've got our last squad. We have a 38T and the Stug that's come in. The Stug has moved twice. I need to put the little dust there. There. So we know he's moving. The 38T also came on board along with our infantry. I need to put dust behind them as well. And the Russian AT gun fired at the Stug and never even spotted. The 38T tried to fire on this guy, couldn't spot him. So at this point right now, we are at the bottom half of turn 3. So we are at the end of Russian turn 3. The Russians get their last reinforcements, the remains of the T-26 platoon. They only got 3 orders to play with, so they went to the AT guns. So this AT gun fired at the Stug and failed. This armored car decided to fire at the 38T, failed. This is a story. This AT gun went, fired, pinned number 221 of the 38T platoon, but they got to roll for a beyond the call of duty, which they passed, turned around, and blasted the AT gun to bits, forcing the Russians to take the first casualty of the game. And of course, when they withdrew, they lost 2 points off of their battle rating. So let's see what the next turn brings, folks. All the players are on the table. End of 10-4 for the Germans, and here we go. So this gun, this Stug Sturmgeschütz assault gun, fired an HE round and destroyed the Russian AT gun, causing a loss of 2 to the battle rating or army morale. This T-38 right here fired at the lone armored car, not doing anything. Meanwhile, our rifle squad has moved up, so they can start laying a stream of fire next turn. This rifle squad moved up through the woods, so now they can start laying down a stream of fire. These 2 Panzer 38s are still pinned until they are rallied. Okay, that's it. Going on to Russian turn 4. Bottom half of Russian turn 4. Russians got 3 orders, and the 3 T-26s form as 1 unit, Stahl, 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 and they race down the roadway trying to fire on the infantry here for suppressive fire. No effect. AT gun here tried to fire on the Stug. No effect. The armored car tried to fire on the Stug. No effect. Quick turn. On to German turn 5. End of German turn 5. And at this point, we've had the German infantry move up into the woods. This infantry tried to spot. They could not spot worth beans. The Russian armored car has been blown up. They've taken their loss. At the end, trying to rally, we got 1 tank that rallied for a loss of 2 battle rating points. And that's it. Okay, we're at the end of Russian turn 5. Here's the action. The Russians rolled a 6 on the command dice, +1 to reflect command chaos. So they had 7, so they could activate a lot of guys. So let's get down to it. Our T-26s fired on the 38Ts to no effect. This AT gun here took out this one here, causing the Germans to lose some more points. And we'll update in a moment. Meanwhile, our last T-26 charges up the bridge, tries to shoot at the Stug, and misses. Also, Russian infantry in the woods fired on the rifle squad, not the LMG team, and they pinned them down. So that is the excitement. We are now heading toward German turn 6. End of German turn 6. Germans got the 6 command, the command die, +1 officer. So they got 7 points to play with, more than enough to deal with what they had. The Stug fired, missed, moved up, secured the victory location. The rifle squad here opened up on the Russian squad, causing 3 casualties, but pinning them twice, which means they are automatically eliminated. Meanwhile, our fearless platoon commander of Panzer 320 opened up on the T-26 on the bridge and tore it apart. Our light machine gun team here tried to spot the Russian snipers out there. Yep, they have been quiet the entire game. They couldn't spot them. So this is it, folks. We are now on Russian turn 6. End of Russian turn 6. Russians only got 2 command points. So basically, the infantry and the AT gun fired. The infantry fired on the German LMG team. They took out one guy and pinned it. The AT gun proceeded to fire on this 38T of 221 and failed. And I was wrong. There was one extra reinforcement on there. And last T-26. On to German turn 7. End of German turn 6. They only got 3 order dice this turn. Not a whole lot here. The rifle squad minus the pinned MG opened up, aimed fire on the AT gun, killing 2 of the 3 crew. So there's only 1 crewman left. In the meantime, the 38T moved up, tried to aim for the AT gun, could not spot. LMG team tried to spot the sniper. There in the craters, nothing. We move on. Okay, Russian turn 7. Only 2 orders to give out. So the AT gun got 1 of the orders and tried to take out this guy and failed. The lone T-26 over there tried to spot this pinned little panzer here to no avail. That's it. German turn 8. End of German turn 8. They didn't have that many orders to begin with. The Stug went into ambush mode. The rifle squad and the Panzer tried to fire on the AT gun there, not doing anything to it this time around. Tree fell. But the Germans took a big risk. They knew they needed to get the guys unpinned. They drew a 4, which now means their battle rating is 2. But in the process, they got this Panzer, this light machine gun section, this rifle section back in action. Let's see what happens next. Russian turn 8. The Russians actually got more command orders this time around, which was kind of nice. So our T-26 platoon commander moved up. Our 2 T-26s fired at the T-30, at the 38T. Over there on the other side, yeah. And our other T-26 also fired. Missing. Everybody else here fired to no effect. Turn 9 for the Germans. German turn 9, take 2. I forgot. There was a rifle section here that didn't fire. It didn't matter. So very quickly, the Germans got a lot of orders and they were able to move everybody. The rifle squad moved up to this edge of the forest. And over here, these guys fired again on the infantry. The tanks, meanwhile, fired with their machine guns onto the AT gun and took that out, and the Russians did not get their battle rating counter. So let's see what happens. Ouch. Ow, ow, ow. The Russians take a 4. Ow. And whoo, this is getting close, guys. Going from 5 down to 1. So the Russians are at 1. The Germans are at 2. This is down to the wire, folks. But this is Battlegroup. I don't expect anything less. Russian turn 9. After rolling just 2 orders, decisions had to be made. The T-26 moved forward to fire machine guns at the light machine gun team, not doing anything. But the brave, heroic boys, the Frontovics, a new level of respect for the Frontovics, they opened up, killing the light machine gunner, forcing the unit to be destroyed, picking one more chit, and they drew a 3, bringing the German battle rating down from a 1 to a -2. That's it, folks. That is it for this game here. Hey, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any ideas, suggestions, I'm all ears for it. Okay, and with that, this is Battlegroup. Hey, Battlegroupies, I hope you enjoyed this. This is Solo Guy signing out. One last look on the field.